All right, so let me show you. This is one of the make and take cards for Saturday. I'm going to switch on over to my hands. And this is part of the Tea Boutique. All right, so this is the Tea Boutique suite. It has a stamp set, and it has a die set, and it has designer paper. And what I love about Tea Boutique is it coordinates with the in colors. Stampin' Up! Took this suite and they coordinated all 5 new in colors with it. And I just think that's the coolest thing. So I'm so glad you like it, Margaret. So you're going to have the opportunity to select one of the in colors, okay, for you to make. And this is a super simple card, but the paper, look at this designer paper. It's just gorgeous. All right, and this is Sweet Sorbet. It's a Sweet Sorbet card base, all right? So, isn't that fun? These end colors are so amazing. Thank you, Carol. I wish you could be here too. I can't wait to set up my displays. I'm actually gonna set them up a day early. I've never done that before. But my husband and I are going to get all the tables and chairs set up and the display. So that's going to keep us busy on Friday evening. This card base right here is Orchid Oasis. All right. I just love the sweet little teacup. And look at this designer paper. This is actually the in color designer paper. And then we have one in Tahitian Tide right here. All right, and then our last one is right here, and it's Parakeet Party. That's the card base, all right? Oh, Gail, I love your comment. Gail says, I can't wait to see the catalog. It has been like waiting for a baby to be born. I love it. That's great. So this is one of the make and takes for my ladies who are attending. They get to select their color. They have a choice of 5 different cards to choose from. So I just love how these colors do work together. Tina is right. They just work together so beautifully with all the different designer papers. So just wanted you to see that. So all right. I know if California wasn't so far from Virginia, Peggy, you would be able to come. Yay, Brenda. Well, Brenda, now you have inspiration to go and make these cards, okay? All right. So tonight is going to be a little bit different. And you may have seen a post earlier today on my Facebook page. I'm going to show you how I organize my in colors, all right? Now, it is nothing earth-shattering, okay? I'm sure other demonstrators do what I do, and they might even do it better than I do. But I'm just going to give you my slant, you know, or my view on how I organize my things, okay? And then once I post this video, I'll edit this video tomorrow and post it to my blog. And when I do that, I am going to have a reference sheet for you with everything we talked about tonight. Okay, it's right here, all right? And so I'm hoping it'll post tomorrow to my blog or on Friday. I hope, fingers crossed. There's just lots going on. Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to start with ink pads. And, you know, if we've got some beginner stampers, then this is going to be perfect for you, or even us seasoned stampers. We forget some of these things, right? And so it's nice to have that little bit of a reminder. And so, hi, Suzanne, welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with ink pads, all right? So I'm going to start with Starry Sky, and as you can see, I have not labeled it. So we've got this label on the back of the stamp pad right here. And by the way, the label machine is coming out, okay? So what I'm going to do first is, and this is how I do it, I love this Take Your Pick tool because I can lift up right under there. I can pull this back, And I'm going to take the words, okay, hang on. It can be a little tricky. All right, hang on. It's not supposed to be this hard, I promise. All right, it's just sticky. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull that out. And then here, I'm using this putty knife here, okay? Hi, Joyce, welcome. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I center this across the end. Now, I get a little crazy and nutty about this because, boy, I want it to be straight, all right? So that's where you put your Starry Sky, right where you lift this up and right where you open it up, okay? All right, so we got one more, hang on. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a blank one, all right? It's just the color. There aren't any words on here, okay? Are you kidding me, Carol? Carol says, I had no idea those labels were there. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Well, now you know, right? All right, so now what we're gonna do is, this is just gonna blow your mind, Carol, all right? I'm gonna take that sticker and I'm going to put it in this well. All right, and that's what I'm calling it. I don't really know the name of it. And then that sticks there. And then when you're stamping, you know, inking up your stamp, you know what color you're working with, all right? And this one, okay, it went in there. All right, so first, that's how you label your ink pad. And then I have found that, here they are, that the Stampin' Up storage works very well for storing your ink pad along with your Stampin' Write marker. All right, and you know what? My Stampin' Write markers I have packed. For open house. I want to put this on right. Yeah, this is how it goes. It just locks in right here. All right. So there you go. And what fits right here is the Stampin' Write marker. All right. Not the blend. All right. This is the Stampin' Blend and it does not fit. It's for your Stampin' Write marker. All right. Okay. So I have found this to work very well. And you can stack these as tall as you want. You're going to find them in the annual catalog, in the one we are currently in, and they'll be in the new catalog as well on Tuesday, all right? So they work great, and I'll also show you some Stampin' Storage products that I like to use as well. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our Stampin' Blends, okay? And I know a lot of you were interested in this, and you're going to notice that this is how I label mine, all right? So this right here is my Brother, that's the name right there, the Brother P-Touch label machine, all right? So this is what I use. I have probably had this 8 to 10 years, okay? So I went on Amazon today and looked at some P-Touch machines. They do make several different ones, and I'll give you links for those. But it's not going to look like mine, of course, because they've improved it and they've made it better, all right? So actually, Carol, there is space for the Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to show you that soon, okay? So you will get to see that. All right. Okay. All right. Had to take a sip of water there. Okay. So this is my P-Touch machine, and now I'm going to show you two of my favorite size labels. And I also have links for these on the resource page, okay? So that will come tomorrow or the next day, okay? All right, so this one right here is a 6mm. Now, I'm gonna show you what the label size is. Do you see this piece of tape? That's the size of the label. And when you print with your marker, this is the cartridge that I used, okay? Because it's nice and skinny. All right, now I have one more that I love to use, and this size is the 12mm. And you can see here how wide this one is. So it's much wider than the label that I used here, okay? So I've got a skinny label that I like, and this is the wider one that I like, okay? So for now, we're actually gonna use the skinny label because I'm going to show you how I type it up and how I print it. Okay, so it's a 6mm label. We're gonna label the Stampin Blends, and it does take 3 AAA batteries, all right? And they last a really long time. Okay, so I've already labeled all of my in color Stampin Blends, okay? But I ordered some new ones, and so I need to label my dark pool party, and I need to label the light pool party because these are brand new ones, okay? I know, Terry, I'm with you. I love to see how other people organize things. I know I can get very obsessed with organizing. All right. So to label the pool party marker, there are actually 2 fonts for this machine. Now, again, my machine is 8 to 10 years old, so who knows how many fonts they have now on a machine, okay? But I've already set that up, and let's see, I am going to type light pool party, and then I'm going to hit print, and then it is printing, okay? Now this machine does come with directions, okay? And so every once in a while I have to get directions out and reread them. All right, so I'm gonna go back here, but instead of erasing everything, I'm just gonna erase the word light. And I know that's difficult for you to see just with the screen. All right, so now what I've typed in is dark pool party. So we're gonna print that one. Again, there's that skinny tape. This one's one of my faves, okay? Highly recommend this size for these things. And by the way, here's the cutter. I just push that and it cuts the label, okay? All right. So then the next thing I like to do is, we'll start with the light first. On your Stampin' Blend, you've got a skinny line and you've got a fat line. This is the fine point, this is the brush tip. So I usually turn mine over. This is light pool party. I'm gonna turn it over one more time here, and I'll zoom in. And I'm going to take my scissors. Now sometimes I will use my paper trimmer to do this. It depends on how, straight I want it. All right. And then what's nice about the labels, you can actually, there's a little split in it, and so you can just peel that off, okay? Yes, Jean, thank you for pointing that out. Jean is talking about the ink pad labels. There are a few labels in foreign languages, but they can be put on other, on the other 3 sides of the container. So the color is visible however you store it. Thank you, Jean, for pointing that out. Totally forgot about that. Okay. So what's nice about these labels is they're very forgiving, which means I can pull it up if I need to get it straight. All right. And so, and of course, you know me, I want it straight, so I could be here all night. I'm almost there in the middle. All right. So I'm gonna let it go at that, and that's my light pool party. So now I'm going to do the dark. Oops. Oh, here it is. All right. And I'm just gonna trim right there. Hi, Jeanne. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm going to trim right there. Okay, so there's my dark pool party. And again, I'm just doing the same thing that I just did with the light. All right. And I'll use this little putty knife here. I'm calling it the putty knife, this part anyway. Or maybe I don't need it for this one. And okay, so now I've got both of my blends labeled, and I do this every time I order new blends, okay, so that I don't get behind, because if you get behind, then you have like so many to label. Now, some of you have already asked me, what about the end cap? Because some demonstrators do label the end cap, all right? So what we're going to do now is I'm going back to my label machine, and I'm erasing dark pool party, okay? And now I am going to type in a capital D for dark, capital P, capital P, and capital P. And so that is dark pool party, okay? And now we're going to print that. And it's working. You probably can't even hear my machine printing. All right. And again, look, there's the cutter. All right. And that just cuts that off. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to trim very close to letter P. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to trim close to the D. All right, so do you see that? All right, now I'm going to peel this off. Hey, Chris, welcome. Thanks for joining. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to the end cap. All right, so that is dark pool party. I could have trimmed that even closer to the letter P, all right? So, and that's easy enough to do. It's very forgiving. It allows you to pull it right back up. I know a lot of you are asking questions, and I am going to go back and answer those in just a second, okay? All right. Now, if you're not happy with this organization, there are some demonstrators who even have a PDF of all of these letters for you to add to your Stampin' Blends, okay? And probably a video to show you how they did it, all right? So if you Google or go on YouTube and put in Stampin' Blends organization or labels, something will come up, okay, so that you can look at other resources, all right? So the other nice thing that Stampin' Up! Offers are the storage bins for blends, all right? And so when I organize my blends, I always put light first, and then dark, light, and then dark. Now the way I do this is I organize my colors just like the colors in the catalog. So I'll have all my brights together, all my regals together, subtles and neutrals. And then I keep all my end colors together, okay? All right, so lots of places for you all to Google to find different ways that demonstrators use labels, all right? So this is a wonderful way to organize your blends, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna go back before we move on to sponge daubers and see if there are any questions that I need to answer. All right. Jean, thank you for sharing that. There are just so many ways that demonstrators organize their craft supplies, and it's very intriguing. I love this kind of stuff. I love to organize things. So, all right. So Brenda's asking, how are you able to see what color it is when it's in the stamp and storage cabinet? Only the end is showing. Are we just not getting to that one yet? Okay. So in the stamp and storage cabinet, Brenda, you can see your ink pad colors and you can see your marker colors. So I'm not quite sure. They're not covered up by any means. And that's something that I can show you at another time. I'm not really equipped to show you my cabinet tonight, but I can certainly do that next week. But you can see your marker colors and your ink pad colors using the Stampin' Storage units, all right? Okay. Oh, well, good, Kisha. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. Thank you. I hope it's not boring, okay? All righty. So now we're going to move on to sponge daubers, and I'm going to show you how I organize those, okay? So, of course, we're going to need a sponge dauber. And you may be asking me, well, how do I use the machine, right? Well, it depends on your machine. And I'm sure the Brother label machines have not changed in quite a while. But again, my machine is 8 or 10 years old. And so you just have to read your instruction booklet and make little notes in it. That's what I do with mine, okay? Good, Carol. Okay, with the blends, Brenda's asking about the Stampin' Blends. Brenda, you can see the Stampin' Blends in the cabinet, okay, in the Stampin' Storage unit, all right? You may be confusing it with the Stampin' Write markers, and I'm going to go online tonight and I'm going to show you the Stampin' Blend storage, okay, for Stampin' Storage, all right? Okay, all right, so let's get the sponge daubers over here. And I'm going to switch on over to my hands again. And they are in a case. All right. See my sponge daubers here? They're in a case. And so I will have a link. You can find this case on Amazon. And you can even type in the search bar sponge dauber case. And it will come up. All right. But I do have a link for that as well. So let me show you how I organize my my sponge daubers. I actually have 2 of each color. All right, so the So Saffron, I'll have 2. Now the reason I have 2 is because I teach classes. So I can have 2 customers sponging at the same time instead of just 1. All right, so that's why I have 2. And you can, let me see, I think you get 40 in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 40 daubers will fit in this case, all right? So you could get 2 color groups in this case. You could do your subtles and brights in the case. You could do your neutrals and regals together. And you could do your end colors in another case. Or you can be like me if you teach classes and have 2 of each sponge dauber. All right. So in my case, I have the subtles and the brights together. So I said that wrong. There are 40 daubers in here. So you could get all 4 color groups in this one case because there are 10 subtles, 10 brights, 10 regals, and 10 neutrals, all right? And then a second case for your end colors, okay? All right, let me just grab, I'm talking so much. Let me grab a sip of water. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how I label these, and then we'll type one up. I like the two lines for my sponge daubers. Okay, let's go back and look at it. See that? So that's what I like to do. Now, in order to do two lines, you have to have a label of this width, which is what we're using next. So I'm gonna pull this out. This is my skinny one that I like for markers. And now I'm gonna put in my wider tape, okay? I also have links for both of these labels, both sizes of the labels, okay? All right. I just can't put it on my Facebook page because I can't upload a PDF file. Oh, hang on, this thing is typing something. Oh yeah, it typed it big for us. Look at that. All right, I hit the button. So anyway, I can't upload a file to my Facebook business page, and so it has to be put on my blog, okay? All right. Okay, so now we're gonna do two lines, and by the way, my machine that's 8 or 10 years old has 15 different ways to create the label. So I put a little note by here. This is the one that I like to use for sponge daubers, and it's the one I like to use for embossing folders. And this is regular sponges, which we can get to another time, okay? All right, but for tonight, it's sponge daubers. And first, we're gonna type in what we need. Let's do sweet, and you probably cannot see me type. All right, but what I typed in was sweet sorbet, okay? So now I'm going to deco mode, and these are called deco modes, okay? All 15 of these, their term is deco mode, and I want deco mode number 10, all right? So what I do is I hit deco mode, and I keep moving this button till I get to the one that I want. And so now I'm gonna hit print, all right. All right, oh, I had to hit okay, all right. Oh, that's good. Oh, you know what? Haha. With deco mode, you have to put in what you want on the first line. I'm sorry, I am just trying to hold this so that you can see the word. It's going to be sweet. This is where I type it in. Sorbet. Whoops, nope. I want my first line to be sweet. Okay, so that's line 1. I'm gonna hit okay. It's gonna ask me about number 2. And I wanna put in sorbet. O-R-B-E-T. And I hit okay, and then it's asking me, do you want to print? I'm gonna say okay. And so now it's printing. And now you're gonna get to see the width of this label, okay? All right, so here it is. It's sweet sorbet. All right, I'm so close to the camera does not know what to focus on. Now, I am going to trim this off. I don't need this design on my sponge dauber, okay? All right, so there's my sweet sorbet right there. And now I can peel this off. It would help, though, if I take the sponge dauber out of the, oh, I did, out of the case. So you can find our sponge daubers on the coloring page in the annual book. And then I am just going to wrap it right here, okay? So there's my sweet sorbet. And that's how I label my sponge daubers. And I've been doing this. This is the first time. I mean, I organized this years ago, and I still use it. Really, really like it, okay? So this works really well. All right, so I'll have a link for you for the case as well as the machine and the labels, okay? All right, so now the next thing we're going to move on to is we're going to move on to the share box, because there's a resource in here that I give everyone when you purchase the share box. All right. Hi, Becky from Kentucky. Good to have you. Hey, Bess. Hi, Anita. All right. And so here is my in color share box. Have y'all seen my stickers? Oh my gosh, these are so fun. I'm trying to zoom out. Okay. So I'm using stickers this year on my in color boxes. So when you open your box, it's going to have a label and it says enjoy your in color share box. All right. Now I'm going to open this up and we're going to talk about one of my reference tools that I use a lot for lots of different 6x6-inch designer paper. All right. Okay, so this is a free gift with my share box. When you purchase it and you get the half a package of designer paper, you're going to also get this reference tool. And I type it up and then I trim it 6x6. And then when you take a 1-inch circle punch and punch out all 4 designs, and then I glue them on here and I store this with the paper. Okay, I love this because I can pull this out, look at the different patterns and figure out which one I want to use. And this is a complimentary free gift in my in color share box. Okay, so I am not sharing this file. You've got to be part of the share box in order to get this one. Okay, but this is one way that I like to store this with my paper, and I'm going to show you some storage in a second. Okay, let me run down my list to see if there's anything else. All right. Okay, so I'm done with that. So I thought I would also share with you some Stampin' storage products that I like. Okay, certainly by no means do you have to, buy the Stampin' storage products. I'm not trying to push that. I just want to show you how I organize my things. Okay, all right. So I'm going to grab my computer. All right, and I'm going to move on over here. And by the way, if there is someone who hasn't seen my share box who would like to, just let me know. I am happy to share that with you. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to Be Creative Stamping, and this is my blog. Okay. So in a day or two, I'm going to have the reference sheet that I'm talking about on my blog for you to download. So if you scroll down and if you look under Paper Pumpkin, you're going to see the stamp and storage image, okay? So you just click that. And by the way, I am an affiliate of Stampin' Storage. So if you purchase something by clicking on that image, I may receive a small commission. So I just want you to know that that's a disclaimer, I guess. All right, so here we are at Shop. And let's go to ink pads, markers, and refills, okay? All right, so there are all kinds of ways to organize your ink pads, your markers, and your ink refill, and different sizes. And I have the super one, and I've had it for many years, and so they may have updated it, I don't know. But I like it because I can get more ink pads and markers in it. I can get all 4 color groups as well as all 8 in colors. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. You know what? Mine does not look like this. This is the newer one where it holds the Stampin' Blend. Okay, so let me enlarge this. I don't know if I enlarged it or not. Okay. This holds the marker, and it holds the 2 Stampin Blends. It has the ink refill and the Stampin Write Marker. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. When I purchased mine many years ago, we didn't have Stampin Blends, so we didn't have a holder for that. Okay, so I have a different holder for my Stampin Blends as well. All right, and it will also give you measurements too. I'm trying to get back to the beginning now, and I'll show you which one I have. So it is the older one. It's this one right here. All right, and it can sit right on your desk. You can hang it up. You can put it on the wall if you want. But this one is mine. Okay, so here you'll see ink pad, ink refill, and Stampin' Write marker. So that is mine, okay? Just to give you an idea. And it will tell you in the description how many it will hold. This should hold like, let's see. So there's a 60 combo, 48 combo, 48 meaning 48 ink pads, markers, and ink refills. 36 combo, 24, and then they even have some that will fit the IKEA storage. So, all right. Oh, yay. So Pam just got one. Awesome, Pam. That's great. So here we are. I have the 60, okay? So I can just fit everything all together. All right, so now I'm going to show you how I store my blends. And by the way, I still use the Stampin' Up! Products as well in another area of my room. So I use both. Here it is right here. This is mine, and it's the marker holder for Stampin' Blends. So when Stampin' Blends began, I needed a place to store them, and it was before the Stampin' Up! Pieces. And so I have the one that will hold 60. All right, so that's what that looks like. It just holds your blends, okay? Okay, one other thing I'm gonna show you is my 6x6 paper. I wanna show you how I store that. But there's a possibility that we might create something next week that holds 6x6 paper. So I'm going to give you another alternative next week, okay? All right, so here we are. This is mine. I have a 6x6 paper holder, okay? So that's what I use. And then I take the reference tool that's part of the share box, and that goes right on top the paper, okay? So that's what I use. And it looks like it holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 paper stacks. And it'll fit more than one package of paper as well. And then I also found, let me go back to paper because I found something else today that looked really good, and I did put it on the list. These are paper sleeves. And hopefully you can see them. Let's see if I can enlarge. There we go. There's the paper sleeve. And you can see it's got a tab on it for labeling. You can use your label machine for that. And so the paper sleeves, they come in 3 sizes. And I think I actually have some of the 6x6. So another way to store paper, 6x6, 8.5 by 11, or 12 by 12, okay? So that's just another way, and I think that's it there. So, all right, so I just wanted you to be aware of those things. Right behind me is how I store my paper and ink, but I have a work area in my stamp room, and I promise I'll give you a tour. We'll do that soon. I just got to clean up my room after open house, okay, and reorganize because I have all this new product coming in, so I've got to shift things around. But anyway, I use the white Stampin' Up! Storage. I use that on my countertops, and I'll put the ink that I'm using at that time for that project right there on the counter. so I can easily get to it and I don't have to walk to the other side of the room to get the ink. So I do use those as well, okay? Anybody have any questions for me? Also, don't forget, next Wednesday night, a week from tonight, is the very last day to sign up for the in color box. Once I place the order, I am done. I will not be reordering, and I won't have extra in color share boxes, okay? So be sure to take advantage of that. We've got a free class coming up at the end of June, all about the in colors. And I'm going to create a private Facebook page next Friday. And those who have purchased the share box, you can come on over there. I'll ask you to join. And then we'll start communicating, and I'll be showing you lots of different resources with the in colors, okay? Any questions for me? Got really quiet, so I don't know if it was boring or if you were just furiously taking notes. But this is the resource that I created today, with all the different storage options, with the label machine, the label tape, what else? The sponge dauber stuff, all the links where you can purchase things. So just want you to know that this is forthcoming, okay?